Welcome to the Dead Pixel Society podcast, the photo imaging industry's leading news source. Here's your host, Gary Pageau. The Dead Pixel Society podcast is brought to you by Media Clip, Advertech Printing, and Independent Photo Imagers.
Hello again, and welcome to the Dead Pixel Society podcast. I'm your host, Gary Pageau, and today we're joined by JF Maion, the founder of PhotoDeck, which is based in France. Hi, JF. How are you today?
Yeah, hi, Gary. Thanks a lot for having me. I'm doing great, thank you.
So, tell us about PhotoDeck. It's one of the many photographer-oriented websites to do portfolios and things, but it's more than that. So, how did you get started?
Yeah, absolutely. So PhotoDeck was, we've been running for about 12 years. I think we started PhotoDeck in 2009, so it's been quite a while already. And the initial starting point was stock photography. The main objective was to provide photographers the ability to create their own stock website. There was a time when the stock business was still flourishing for photographers, but was still very concentrated with some major players. And I myself played with building my own stock website and being quite successful with that. So from there came the idea that, hey, we should provide that as a platform, as a tool for independent photographers to cut the leash and become independent, have no middleman, and take things into their own hands and have their own website. As time went on, then we expanded a lot into portfolio building and into proofing galleries, and more general e-commerce features, allowing also fine art photographers, for instance, to sell prints, which is quite relevant to the topic we have today. Today, PhotoDeck is I think known for being a tool that is extremely flexible, in the sense that we have very different kinds of photographers and even agencies using PhotoDeck. We have people using PhotoDeck just for simple portfolios. We have wedding photographers using PhotoDeck for selling to their clients, to private consumers in the B2C context, distributing and selling images. We have stock photo agencies. We have commercial photo agencies. We have event photographers shooting thousands of images a day and selling them also to consumers. And we have many people doing different things. It's quite common in Europe, for instance, to have a photographer that does weddings, but also like on the weekends, but during the week might be closer to commercial photography, working with commercial clients and like advertising shots and the sort of things. And the requirements for both kinds of customers and galleries and workflows are very different. And our aim is to be able to support both on the same platform, so that photographer that changes specialty over his career or then just serves different kinds of customers and projects at any time is able to do everything on a single platform.
When you started out, I'm looking at stock photography, and I think a lot of the portfolio companies have started. And of course, the stock business has just radically changed over the last 10, 12 years. So, the course of existence, right? It's exploded or imploded or whatever you want to talk to. Generative AI coming in there, you can create your own stock. So it looks like you pivoted at a good time. Was that always your plan to go with stock, or did you realize, hey, listen, we're building this great platform that can do all these other things as well? And how long did that realization take, before you said, we start adding more stuff?
Yeah. So first of all, it wasn't really pivot in the sense that we're still doing stock, and we have a number of both individual stock photographers, but also stock agencies using PhotoDeck as their platform. I think it took a couple of years before we realized that we need to do something else than just this. So we need to expand. Yeah. And I think most of what we do doesn't come from us in a sense that it's not necessarily us saying that, hey, it would be better for the company or better for the industry if we went into that direction and did that thing. Everything we do, or mostly everything we do, is based on customer feedback.
Sure.
So when we started to have more members saying they have a stock site, but it would be nice if we could also like distribute images to private clients, like for commission work. Or I have a stock site, but I'd like to have a portfolio as well. And can you improve that so that my stock site looks a bit better and could use that? So gathering all this feedback on a continuous basis is really what directs our development and our direction. Of course, we have some safeguards, and we try not to do anything stupid for the long term for ourselves. But it's really the feedback we get from members that direct what we do.
So I think it's kind of interesting how you have the proofing component side of it.
Yeah.
Because I think so there are sites who are like have that, but it's not a major feature of that. How is that developed? Because I think it's interesting because you almost have like this public face, where people can have their portfolio, but then there's sort of this private space. And how is that?
Yeah. So, basically, it's fairly easy to integrate them onto the same website as long as you have the capability to display the images and the galleries in different ways. So that's for the presentation part. We have a way to display portfolio galleries in a way that there is no distractions. It's we let the work talk. The images are big and there's not too many buttons and so on. But you can also have separate galleries where the settings are dedicated for proofing, and so there you can have more advanced features. And again, that depends very much as well what kind of final customer the photographer or the agency is serving. So for B2C photographers, it means like having simple password protected galleries, having a way to add images to favorites, and just being able to view them and order them easily, but without going into too much complexity. For B2B business cases, then we need to go one step further. So it means that security needs to be higher so that it is more granular. You need to be able to give permissions, not just with a generic password. We need to give permission to specific individuals or to groups. You need to make sure that people can make light boxes, share them within a team in their company, and work together in a collaborative fashion on those light boxes. So the features evolve, the features are available to everybody, but can be used in different way depending on who the customer is, and it all integrates into the same website.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of interesting because you have this photographer aspect, but we also have this digital asset management.
That's right.
Which is, you could have a business store their company's images there. And
absolutely, we do
brand assets and corporate headshots and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
so that's kind of interesting as well, because I haven't heard a lot of photographer, and I'm doing air quotes, photographer sites do that kind of approach.
No, absolutely, and I think that it goes a long way into showing how flexible the platform is, because it's not something we intended to do ourselves, but we realized at some point, hey, we have some companies, and we actually have some big companies and big names who are using PhotoDeck as a digital asset management system, even though it wasn't marketed at that time in any way as a digital asset management system. But talking to those people, we realized that the platform is at its core a digital asset management system, the website being just the front end part of it. So now we are a bit more, not aggressive, but we have kept improving the product for that kind of scenario. And again, the same features are basically available also to agencies and to the individual photographers if they want to. And that's mostly about, for instance, like multi-user backend accesses, and there are some more specifics around search and so on. But the same platform can be used and is used for that as well.
And you're in multilingual. You're in a bunch of different countries. Are you adding more?
That's right. So we are. PhotoDeck has been the front end side. So what the websites, basically, photographers and companies build have been multilingual since pretty much day one. We are European, we're French. We actually launched in the US and the UK before launching in France. So the multilingual aspect on the front end was essential from day one. The backend was initially launched in English. We launched French a couple of years later because, we're from France. would have been stupid not to. And we launched in Germany this year. So we serve our own members, the photographers in 3 languages, but we have a dozen more languages that are available for them to use for their clients. So, for instance, we have people like in Italy, Italian photographers using PhotoDeck in English, but their own website is obviously in Italian, which is very important for their own customers.
Sure. And speaking of Germany, you've recently become a partner with a German company that we're going to talk about in a little bit, Whitewall. Did you have a print partner before that?
Yeah, so we are integrated already in the US with WHGC, which is quite a well-known and respected lab. We have another integration in the UK with a company called One Vision Imaging. We used to have an integration as well with a lab in France called Pageau, but that integration was now put out of, decommissioned. So that we now are indeed integrated with Whitewall, and very, very excited about this. You mentioned Whitewall being a German company. Well, they're not more German than we are French. They are based in Germany, like we are based in France. But exactly. I think that is one of the great things about this collaboration is that there is a great match, I think, in terms of strategy, and there are many common points. And one being Whitewall is truly an international company.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. No. I mean, I've gotten Whitewall print ship. Here in America, so it's not it's not true. But it's just funny how European companies kind of have sort of this pan-European and global outlook, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And in the case of Whitewall, it was quite obvious. And as I mentioned, we launched in Germany, and Whitewall is based in Germany. So of course there was some high interest for us in working with Whitewall in to help us reaching or better serve the German markets. And we were certainly expecting to have a very good response as well from our members, for instance, in France and in other European countries, because Whitewall is very well known in Europe overall. But we've been amazed by the response as well from our US members, and noticed that Whitewall is extremely recognized and appreciated in the US as well, and we have a lot of traction from our US members on this new integration.
Now, is your output now exclusively Whitewall, or do you have other products that they don't make, because they don't make everything?
Yeah, we don't do exclusivity, and I think that's one of the differentiating thing with PhotoDeck. We don't make decisions on behalf of our photographers, and at the very core of our philosophy is providing photographers with choices and control. So we provide them with the option to use Whitewall if they want to sell Whitewall products and have everything automated and benefited. There's a true benefit for them, obviously, in using this integration. But if they don't want to, if they want to sell something that Whitewall doesn't provide, then it's up to them really to either fulfill themselves using another partner that we have. Or then we even provide some kind of semi-automation if they want to work with a local lab. So here our role really is to we're here to serve photographers and provide them with the control and flexibility, and that precludes very much any sort of exclusivity in the solutions we provide.
Tell me more about that working with a local lab piece. So, how does that work? Do they just be able to download a bundle, or if the lab has an API, kind of do it themselves, or how?
So obviously in Europe, the few labs have an API, and if they do, it's never standard. It's never the kind of integration that is ready-made like we have with Whitewall. But what it provides is a fairly simple way for photographers to automatically send orders by email to local labs. So it means that the lab indeed usually needs to be small to be able to accept this kind of ad hoc orders. But there's a template that photographer can change, and and that is being sent then to.
But it could be time sensitive, for example. They may need something right away for whatever reason. And work the local lab by email is a great option.
Exactly. And we see photographers using them for themselves, because photographers who have their own or even small agencies that have their own in-house lab use that feature to send automatically the customer orders then to that people.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Their own process, yeah. But I have to say that it's not a feature that is widely used. I mean, photographers have better things to do than building this kind of ad hoc integration. It's some people do, so it's nice. It is an option, but for most people, the integrations we have with Whitewall and with other labs is vastly more convenient and an effective use of their time.
No, I just find that very interesting because most people, kind of build their closed garden approach, right?
No, exactly.
These are our approved printer partners, and these are the ones you use, and you're kind of up if you want to do something else.
And and there's a reason for that. It has to do with philosophy. It has to do with business. I think one of the reasons many companies are closed is that they have business agreements and with the labs, and they take commissions both. They take commissions from the photographers, and I suspect have some special agreements with the lab. And as I said, we try to work in a different way. We really put photographer control, and the photographer's interest at the center, provide them with responsibility, so that we don't take commission, for instance. And that's a huge differentiator.
Right, I was going to ask you about that. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So we see ourselves really as a technology enabler, as a technology partner for independent photographers, not as a middleman. So we don't market. We don't have a portal where we sell our photographers' images, for instance. And normally website companies don't have that, but still, for some reason, they feel that they have the right to take a commission on the photographers' own sales. And we don't think that that's really fair, and we prefer photographers to be involved, to take their business into their own hands. It comes with obviously a bit of responsibility and work. For instance, photographers need to connect their account with their own Stripe or their own PayPal account, so that the money doesn't even go through us. It goes directly to the photographer. Well, there's no commission, so that's an easy thing to do. But it means that the photographer needs to have a payment account. Well, most do, and so they're certainly very happy to hear that they keep everything. Mm-hmm. But they are quite important. Pretty different approach to most providers in.
Yeah, because and you just charge a fee to the photographer, and it's not the under $10 fee. It's substantial. It's not crazy. It's like $29 or something. So it's not. That's
a ballpark.
Prohibitive.
25.
But you're not doing the model where we're going to go in low price and make it up on commission sales on prints or services or whatever. You're just saying we're providing a value for this amount of our website.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's up to you to make the most of it on the other side.
Yeah, I think we're a lot about fairness as well, and I feel this model is very clear and very fair because, why would a photographer, lose a percentage on sales? It would be like a camera maker taking commission every time you hit on the click button or you take a picture. It doesn't make sense because it doesn't really. Of course, it has an impact. How many times you take a picture and how many pictures you put on a website has an impact down the road on how much you sell. But it's not. There's no marketing promotion effort in there. So we like things to be clear. And I think the relationship with a white wall also goes in. Follows very much that direction. With that integration, photographers still has a direct relationship with a white wall. Mm-hmm. Here again, we're not we're not a middleman. We're not an intermediary. So if the customer has something to ask White Wall, or wants to negotiate prices with White Wall, or has a support question, they can contact White Wall directly. They know what order number is at White Wall. It's all connected to their own account there. Mm-hmm. Things stay very clear, very, very clean. Everybody has its own. Everybody has its own clear role in the in this model. And something that is also important when you think about the European market is the customer ownership and the privacy thing.
Right.
Because here it means that with this model, it is very clear who is a customer of whom and who kind of owns the customer data.
Right.
So it is very clear that when somebody purchases from a photographer a print or a download or whatever, they purchase from the photographer directly. There is no intermediate. So even legally, in terms of privacy, there is no question to be asked. Okay, what is going to happen to my data if I put it on that website? And it's a question that photographers sometimes ask,
Sure.
and rightfully so. And here the answer is very clear. I mean, the customer buys directly from the photographers. Doesn't go through the payment. Don't go through our platforms. The database is.
Because you may not even know the customer information who's buying the print at all.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very very clear model. I think that's something we appreciate. It's different, like when you purchase something on eBay, for instance. You're not quite sure whether you purchase from eBay or from the eBay seller or who does what, and so on. You see what I mean? And in the European,
some mystery.
In the European context, it's something that has its own weight, and that is becoming more and more important.
Yeah. No, I think that's interesting because you said the privacy piece is a big deal. It's becoming a bigger deal, right? And who's responsible for that? Yeah. Because if you're a photographer and the lab has a breach, you may be exposed because of their customer's data may be exposed because of that. And
that's right.
And that's interesting. So was that a conscious choice you had? I mean, you've mentioned kind of a couple times philosophy and kind of your business ethos. What is that? How would you summarize that sort of your business ethos? Your ethics, I guess is the word.
I mean, just stepping back perhaps and explaining how we're founded. We are small. We are a small family company. That's how we started. And perhaps it's because we are European. We're not really interested, for instance, in things like a market share or taking the world, being the leader, and especially not interested into how much money we might raise from investors. We want to stay independent, a small company. And what is important for us is the market share. What is important for us is making sure that we help our customers and we make them happy. And through that, being a small company, we know that our personal success is, we don't need to be a leader to be personally successful or successful as a company, profitable. And we think that it frees us of many things, of many constraints, and we can spend that time on iterating and making product better. So it's a bit of perhaps an old-fashioned way of saying business. It's perhaps like the small restaurant in the corner. Just make sure you provide great food and have happy customers and be happy yourself.
Right.
But I think it's also kind of way of seeing business which is becoming more and more popular, perhaps. Yeah. And it's something at least we feel good about going to bed each night, and also knowing that we don't have investors breathing in our neck.
Well, that is, a great point is, when you take on the outside money and you take on, equity or partners or whatnot, you're now serving two masters in some sense, right?
Exactly.
Your customers are serving these other folks who may be well-intentioned and they believe in your business. They want you to grow, but maybe they want you to do things that are, conflict with, I think we need to start taking 3% off those print sales, right? Or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we are, to summarize, I think we work a bit like a boutique company, but even on a global, geographically global basis.
Right.
And working this way is also what allows us to make very, very fast decisions in terms of product development and very fast implementations as well.
Sure.
And I think that is also one of the key reasons why we're so proud of the technology we have, because we don't have endless meetings or around what kind of features should we build, how should we build them. We just do the features based on what we know our customers our members have been asking for, and so on, and that allows us to have not only very fast go-to-market times, but also very, very robust and fast platform. And it's pretty routine for us to have people coming to us and say, hey, I was on this and this large platform. And well, it just slow, or it breaks down and have too many issues with it. And so I'm trying you guys. And then sometimes we have people going away from us because, well, they were missing some features or whatever, and then coming back after a few months or a couple of years. Sure. Well, I tried that on the big platform, and I mean, yours is so much like it just works. And it's faster, more robust. And this can't happen if you have like a huge, or at least much more difficult to do if you have a huge team, both in terms of development and in terms of decision making.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine you also can refine what you want your offering to be, because I think what happens in some software development companies, you get developers who want to add a bunch of features.
Yeah.
You know, they're, you know, I'm a programmer, I need to add stuff. It would be very cool if we could add blankety blank, but when you look through the PhotoDeck experience, I'm going to say it's restrained, but it's refined, right?
Yeah.
You're not trying to be every possible solution for this.
Well, yes and no. And one of the difficulties we are facing here is that with flexibility comes complexity. Mm-hmm. And it's always easier to build a website or to build a platform that is specialized to doing one thing. So I'm very glad you're saying that it doesn't look like we're trying to do everything, right? Because the range of features we have and flexibility means that it is a platform that has many more options.
I'm not saying it doesn't have features, but you're just not killing people with it when you're looking.
Yeah, that's right.
Setting it up. It's, you know, you're not throwing in. I mean, you have, you know, editing tools and all these other things that people are kind of glomming on, right?
Yeah.
It's like everyone's glomming on, you know, some sort of AI function on there or something.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you don't have access to the technology you're using, but you're not beating people over the head with it.
No, exactly. And well, you mentioned AI. I'm beating people over the head with it, and that kind of resonates because we do have some AI integration. We obviously use AI ourselves, but it's also a good example of us doing things a bit differently. We don't like to hype things.
Right.
So yeah, it would be fairly easy technically, I guess, to add more AI into things and have AI mentioned all over our website. But
well, if you were looking for investors, you certainly would.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's that. I think you hit right on the nail here. And we prefer providing real value and things that work. Sometimes it means just sticking with the basics, as long as the basics are well made and not falling for the hype and things that down the road are actually not so trustful.
Sure. So what are some of the things on the back end that you may help a photographer grow their business? You know, let's say I'm a wedding photographer. I do some commercial shoots during the week and I shoot weddings on the weekends, and, you know, the very typical photographer. In terms of like back end SEO services or anything like that, is there anything you offer there?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Photo retailers, energize your sales with ShareMe Chat, the proven texting platform. Using chat to text on your website keeps your customers connected and buying. See us at Pro and IPI to find out why dealers using ShareMe Chat close more sales without adding staff. Find out more at shareme.chat.
Well, yeah, we obviously have a lot of tools, so ranging from how the galleries are presented and are structured and protected to the SEO. We also have like SEO parameters, and so that people can optimize their site. SEO is another good example of not overselling things. We do provide. We are very upfront saying, okay, well, with today you can customize your SEO, you can customize this and this title. We have an extensive guide on SEO for photographers, but we're not saying that we make your SEO explode or go grow 10 times, because everybody recognizes that SEO down the road is mostly about popularity, it's mostly about content. It's not something website providers control themselves, and we're trying to be very upfront with that and using that as a sales argument. Again, back to the philosophy. But to your question, yeah. So I talked a bit about the flexibility of the proofing galleries and all the proofing features we have. Then obviously we also have on the e-commerce side a lot of things are available there. So people have been able to license and to sell digital downloads from day one with PhotoDeck. And that's not limited to images, by the way. We support videos and some other kinds of files, just like we support images. And that's obviously quite becoming more and more important, especially when it comes to videos.
Sure.
So for people can sell the downloads and in different formats. Obviously, they can sell prints, either prints through integrated labs or prints that they fulfill themselves. And to help them with their marketing, we have that help them, for instance, provide discounts based on quantities or packages, coupon codes. We also have a newsletter facility. I mean, the sort of things that you would find on e-commerce platform. Yeah,
it seems to me like some of the other. There's a lot of photographer platforms out there, and a lot of them are great.
That's right.
But they also almost are turning into customer relationship management systems, CRM systems, right?
Yeah. That's right.
And you do some of that, but that's not really your main focus.
No, it's not, and exactly, you're right. So we do some of it, and I think the newsletter part is a good example. We have a newsletter facility, and it's being used quite extensively. On the other hand, our aim is not to compete with it's not to compete or to rebuild MailChimp.
Exactly.
So yeah, exactly. And again, whatever we do is mostly based on our customer feedback, and we see that our current user base is happy with what we have. Sometimes more. I mean, we get requests every day for improvements, and we know very clearly where we are going to improve and what we're going to improve over the next month, and that's on a continuous basis. But I have to say the CRM part is not so much used, at least with our current members. Our users, how would I say, people are happy with what we have, even though I'm sure they are. We are nowhere near a real CRM solution.
Yeah. But it's almost like the AI speak, right? It's like people are taking in, outside money or investor money or VC money. And
that's right. Exactly.
That's a buzzword too, right? The CRM is almost as big of a buzzword as AI.
No, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. And luckily we are a bit isolated from that. And if it doesn't come from a real need, and if it doesn't provide real value to our members, we don't need to waste time with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was looking through your, kind of your pricing levels. People get baseline storage, but if they get too big, they have to buy more storage and all that. But it sounds it's all very reasonably accessible to most people in terms of a pricing standpoint. Is that sort of the family business ethos coming through?
Yeah, well, yes, it is, and it's interesting that we have not changed our prices since we launched 12 years ago. The offers have been evolved. We have increased storage space progressively, but basically the price point have pretty much stayed where they are. They are not taken out of the blue. There is obviously a bit of competitive analysis that have been done behind the line, at least in terms of pricing. We don't have to look too much at what our competitors do. We don't really need to. But yeah, the intent is that prices is fair in a sense that we're probably not the cheapest. You can go cheaper, especially if you are willing to have commissions taken out of your sales. But again, we don't take commissions, and the storage is also something that is interesting because we have limited storage. It is relatively affordable, but it is limited because we think that in nature nothing is unlimited. It's like when you have a company house providing free water for everybody, or you have the water bill split equally among everybody, then it opens the door to abuses and so on. We are also very eco-conscious. So storage is not unlimited, but we provide it as a price which is reasonable for the quality it provides. And actually, storage is not something we really make money money from. So yeah, we try to stay affordable, but we're certainly not cutting down the prices, because we see that it is also in everybody's interest that we as a company have a healthy profit margin, so that we can be here for the long term and continue invest, and that we can continue investing in improving the product.
Yeah.
And we've been following the exact same business model without any change really for over 10 years. It's been working very well. So hopefully, again, talking in 10 years and with the same model.
Where would people go for more information to learn about PhotoDeck and its offerings, and looking at where do people go for more information?
Well, the obvious first stop is our website, photodeck.com, and there's a lot of information on there already. But I think the real way to get to know PhotoDeck, because there is, again, it's a fairly deep platform. There's a lot to it. Can be used in many different ways. A lot of flexibility. Getting it right and kicking the tires, as you guys say, is probably the best way. So we offer a 2 weeks free trial, no string attached, no credit card needed. Just open and just enter your email address, and you can start working on your own platform. And we're always here to help with the initial steps to make sure that the direction is correct. We obviously have some onboarding help. So we ask you what kind of photographers you are, what is your specialty, even though we understand that not everyone has a very clear specialty, but at least to help smoothen a bit the first setup. And when it comes to larger agencies, so we have agencies with dozens of photographers or even corporates working with larger collections and using PhotoDeck as a dam. Then we are we still work on a very affordable self-service basis, but obviously we trying to be a bit more available to guide the initial steps and help with the initial structure.
Well, great, Jeff. It's been great to meet you, and looking forward to hearing more in the future and the future success and growth of PhotoDeck, the quiet family company that is just serving their customers.
Thank you so much, Gary. I'm sure you'll hear again from us, and it's been a pleasure to be on the podcast today.
Thank you for listening to the Dead Pixel Society podcast. Read more great stories and sign up for the newsletter at www.thedeadpixelssociety.com.